at Brink, we sort of think of this sort of like a funnel. There's this developer funnel specifically for, let's say, Bitcoin contributing. And you have people who have a programming background who maybe start watching some videos. Maybe they attend Summer of Bitcoin program. Maybe they attend Chain Code Residency or Jimmy Song's course, and they kind of work their way through sort of leveling up their expertise in order to get to a point where you could be funded by somebody like a Spiral. And I'm sure there's similar funnels for non-Bitcoin core contributing. But how do you get people interested? You know, Adi, you guys are focused on university students in terms of that funnel that I sort of outlined. Why focus on that demographic?
Sure. That's really an important question and is at the heart of what Summer of Bitcoin is all about. If you look at the common trajectory of a university student today, in first year of their college, so especially someone who's studying computer science and training to become a software developer. In their first year of college, they pick up a programming language. By second year, they're solving obscure programming puzzles online to get that internship at Google or Facebook by third year. And by the time they graduate, the biggest aspiration is to have an assortment of big tech AI jobs in their kitty. And so they end up joining one of these big tech companies where they're delegated to a team that is maybe resizing buttons or changing fonts every few months. But of course, if you're lucky, you get to join a team that harnesses people's personal data while those same people feel insecure about their lives as they compare themselves to others. And then maybe make them feel a bit better by showing them ads to buy stuff that they never needed in the first place. That's the norm. The exception is, of course, if you didn't do well in programming puzzles, then you compensate by telling your friends that you're too adventurous for big tech and that you're joining a fintech startup, where again, the most that you do is pry on people's private transactions and in the hope of selling them dirty credit. What is really not well understood is that joining big tech today is like joining big cola. Both their business models revolve around triggering the same molecule in your brain. And even if you keep the moral case aside, on the innovation front, you can argue that the sugar water we're drinking today is the same that it was 20 years ago, and the search engine we use today is the same that it was 20 years ago. At Summer of Bitcoin, our message is, if you are in university and you're a budding technologist, you want to work on frontier technologies that flip the way the world runs, working on Bitcoin today is like working on the internet in the 90s. It might make sense to get some, but not only get some, but also work on some in case it catches on. There's also a Straussian case to be made for focusing on university students and introducing them to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a political movement as much as it is a technological movement. You're forced to pick a side either as a global statist or as a sovereign individual. And as free citizens who believe in the promise of sound money, we need to ensure that those in universities today are on the right side of the future, because in fact, they are the future. And this is aside from the fact that the youth is and will be an important constituency that no politician can afford to ignore.